Good afternoon, everybody, and a happy Thanksgiving to all of you at home. Alongside the Hall of Famer and two-time Missouri Valley Conference champion Matt Wren, I am Luke Martin. Matt, Sycamore is glad to be back inside Holman Center after what's been a grueling non-conference road schedule. Matt, Redbirds trying to get that first win on the road this season, and it's going to have to come in a building where they just haven't flat out won in a long time.
Matt, it's separation time. I know Arch Madness may seem like it's a little bit ways away, but we're at the halfway point.
At the halfway point.
Indiana State, can they finally snap this losing skid to Drake? Barnes to Williams for the win. And Indiana State with a remarkable shot by Christian Williams. Sackey, of course, missed the last meeting between both of these teams. As Arabia cleans it up with a two-handed slam up the Tyreek Key miss. Under a minute to go here in Holman Center as Murphy for the tie, banked it in!
Score.
Williams, one of 7 freshmen to average double figures in the Valley right now. In Valley games alone, he gets his first 2 with the slam.
Pro career.
He's missed his last 6 triples on the season, knocks down his first attempted air. The Valley on ESPN welcomes you to Senior Day for Jordan Barnes, Christian Williams, Bronson Kessinger, and the Indiana State Sycamores as a in-state rival. Valparaiso comes inside Holman Center with huge seeding implications in Arch Madness next week. As you take a look at the conference standings, you see Indiana State and Valparaiso right there in the thick of it, in the middle of the conference race, which has made these last couple of weeks a lot of fun. Indiana State could be the 3 seed by the end of today. Valparaiso could find themselves in the 4th spot when it's all said and done by the end of today, the final day in the regular season before Arch Madness. Alongside a man who has won Arch Madness himself, a 2-time Valley champion, Matt Wren. I am Luke Martin. Matt, what are the emotions like when you enter a day like today where there is so much to play for? Indiana State will try to grab its first lead, Matt, since first 3 minutes of this game when it was 5-3.
Yeah, you talked about those second chance points. Indiana State had 6 of those and then 8 points off of turnovers. And really the reason Indiana State's in this game is Drake shot the ball 54% from the field, 50% from the three-point line.
Tyreek Key now 1 for 6 to start this game. He's 1 for 5 from behind the arc. He's only got 3 points and only 1 made triple.
Yeah, just 10 points, 8 points in the last 2 games for Tyreek Key is where you should see him scoring at such that high rate. You hate to say 8 and 10 struggling a little bit, but what he's been able to produce, that is well below his season averages.
I feel like I'd be in the Hall of Fame if I could have those type of points when I played, which was not for very long, by the way. Jordan Barnes rattles around and out. JB's got 7 points. He's now 2 of 7 from the floor, as Wilkins with his first made field goal, making it hard-earned off Trey Williams.
Off the handoff there and matched up with Williams. Knew he had a bigger guy on him and got into his body to create that space he needed to get that one up and in.
The speed he's got on the floor, like a flashback to high school, as we saw his highlights on the football gridiron. In Maryville, Indiana, Liam Robbins able to knock it loose on Williams on the floor, and it's going to be a jump ball. Luckily for Drake, Robbins did not, what it looked like almost initially was going to get whistled for his 3rd foul.
Yeah, I talked to Coach DeVries there about how important he is because he gives him a guy you can throw it to down low. Prolific score there. You look, not much of a jump ball for long, but nonetheless, but they need Robbins out there. Throw it to him, get a bucket. He commands a double and run a lot of their stuff through him. There you go, the double comes, and then now you've got to close out. And so Barnes has got to close out on Penn off that double, and right on cue, Penn shot fake. Nice little kiss off the glass.
7 points for Roman Penn. He's yet to miss a shot on the year. He shoots over 50% from the floor.
You got to think he's a forerunner right now for Newcomer of the Year, Luke.
Been a huge impact since transferring over from Siena. Had to sit out all of last season. Heck, I know Coach Darren DeVries, as Wilkins reached his hand into the cookie jar, and he'll get whistled for the foul there. But I asked Coach DeVries earlier, what would your team have looked like if Nick Norton would have gotten another year and approval
from the NCAA. He's like, I don't know, but I would have loved to see it, especially because
with Penn out there as well.
With Penn out there as well.
Yeah, 2 playmakers.
It's only the second foul on Wilkins.
You see both teams throwing it in, trying to establish that low post.
And that's going to be the third foul on Trey Williams. It's the second charging foul on the big man for Indiana State.
And, you know, to me, the best call there, and then this whole flopping thing that's going on, is just don't call it. You know, just don't call it like there. You know, to me, that's not a charge. It's not a block. It's a no call in that situation.
So Trey Williams has to have a seat on the bench, and right now he's the leading scorer for Indiana State. He's got 9 points off 3 of 5 shooting, with 3 points coming from the free throw line. Drake has led for 19 minutes and 23 seconds in this game as LaRavia cleans up the boards.
You see Drake there, Murphy, matched up Key. I mean, they're staying at home on the perimeter, not letting Indiana State get in the open. Shooters there on the outside as Barnes was probing, but they're not going to leave Key.
Here's Christian Williams. He's only made 4 threes in his career at Iowa. He had 3 in just a game against Bradley on Saturday.
And LaRavia with almost another tip there. And it gets a little deflection as Indiana State in transition.
LaRavia back to Barnes, and a flopping warning is going to be issued here to Drake. And Coach Lansing was about to rip off his jacket if it was going to be another offensive foul on Indiana State. He was prepared to do it, and Rick Randall immediately motioned for the flop.
Well, let's see here. I think Murphy may have stood in there, wanted to, didn't get it. Probably sold it a little bit.
Wilkins just got his first made field goal here in the second half as Penn probes. Robbins with his physical 7-foot frame just left it short. Takes the Bronson Kessinger on the defensive side. Indiana State hasn't led since it was 5-3, just over 3 minutes into this game. LaRavia gets his own rebound. Still not getting a foul call, but the possession continues, and Jordan Barnes with his second made 3 of the game, and Indiana State has tied it up.
Yeah, just a heady play by LaRavia. I think his ball sense, especially around the basket, is why Sycamore fans are high on him. Just an understanding of how to play and a sense of where the ball's going, and able to come up with a couple offensive rebounds, ultimately spring Barnes loose for a 3-pointer.
Kessinger and Williams able to tag team the steal, but Williams can't finish on the other end.
And that's been the difference to me in this game. When you look at it, it's tied. I think in the half court, Drake's offense has been better than Indiana State's offense, but the second chance points, Indiana State, the points off of turnovers they've been able to get is why we're even right now.
Indiana State with only 7 turnovers to this point. Drake has 11. And a foul this time on Indiana State's Christian Williams. Will bring us to immediate timeout. Drake leads for the majority of this game, but in a deadlock right now, tied at 37. You're watching The Valley on ESPN.